Nagasaki in Japan. We're docked at a different place than usual. There's two different docks. This one's a little closer to the city or a little further out. They're not too far from each other. There's a very nice park next to us. When you get off the ship, there's some information. There's post office information. You can exchange money, you can buy stamps. There's locals with maps as always. So yeah, you can check your internet, free Wi-Fi here, and now we're going to go into town. So just next to where the port is docked, in the new dock, we've got the Nagasaki Dejima Wharf area. This is a nice new part of the city. So there's some nice new little restaurants and cafes around here. You can see the wharf. There's a harbour area with some local boats, ships and yachts around. Dejima means exit island, and this used to be an island. It's now part of the mainland. It's part of everything, but before it was actually an island that was a little bit further out, and they gradually reclaimed the land, and so now it's part of the mainland. This was where the trading happened. That's why it's called Exit Island, and this is where first of all Portuguese traders came over, and they traded with the Japanese people here, and then after that Dutch traders came over, and then gradually it became part of the mainland with everything else. So this was the main part of where the trading took place on Dejima Island. This was the original Dutch trading post. So the Portuguese traders came first and then the Dutch. The Portuguese traders didn't last that long because they brought missionaries and they tried to convert all the locals to Catholicism, which they weren't too keen on. So when the Dutch traders came, they said, "Are you going to try and convert us too?" And they said, "Oh, no, we're fine. We'll just come and trade." So that's what they did, and this is exactly where they did it. Now, a little gem if you want to have some local food. Come along the little street right here until you find this little restaurant. It's called Uotatu, U-O-T-A-T-U, and this is a tiny little local place that does fantastic sushi. It's open every day except Sunday. We're here on a Sunday, that's why we can't go in. But they do a wonderful deal of 15 pieces of sushi for only 700 yen. There are limited amounts, so there's normally queues all the way out the door. They have other food, really, really nice food. A nice area to visit in Nagasaki is Chinatown, Motomachi. This is one of the entrances here. This is coming from, if you head down from where Dejima trading post was. You can go straight through. There's a Chinese gate. There's a heavy Chinese influence in Nagasaki because so many Chinese immigrants came over here over the years. Nagasaki was the only city that was open during Japan's 200 years of being closed off from the world. From the 1680s to the 1880s, and so this was the only place that remained open to foreigners, open to trading. A lot of the people that came to live here were from China, and so a lot of these traditions have actually stuck, and that's shown in the food here. There's a lot of fusion food that's a mix between Japanese and Chinese dishes. As you're walking around, one of the things to try in Chinatown is this putaniko, which is pork buns, and they look like this, full ones. As you're walking around Chinatown, if you are a fan of any Japanese anime films, kids films like My Neighbor Totoro or Kiki's Delivery Service, then check out this little place. It's a super cute store filled with merchandise, cuddly toys, music boxes, backpacks, luggage, all sorts of goodies from all of these loved kids films. And the tram is the easiest way to get around Nagasaki. It's very easy, they're all over the city, but they're very popular and they're very busy. But it's only 130 yen, and you can get all around the city, from where the ship is down to the Peace Park, to Chinatown, and all over. If you're heading into town to go to the Peace Park and the Atomic Bomb Museum, this is the stop you get off at for the tram. It's called Peace Park, stop number 19. It's straight run from Chinatown, easy to get to. There's signs right next to it. You also stop here right after going through a tunnel, and then it's very easy to get to the museum, the Hypo Center, and the Peace Statue. They're very close by. This is the Nagasaki Atomic Bomb Museum. It's open from 8:30 until 5:30. This is what it looks like from the side if you come in from the Peace Park. But I would recommend going into the museum first and the Peace Park afterwards, because then this is very distressing and then you'll come out to something a little bit happier and more optimistic for the future. It's a very pretty building. As you come in, you can get the tickets downstairs here. It's only 200 yen to visit, and you'll learn a lot more about what actually happened. You'll see stories about people that perished, photos of them. It's quite hard to see, it's quite upsetting, but it's something that we all should see and learn from. And there's artifacts from people as well, clothes and toys from children, and lots of information about what actually happened throughout the museum. While you're in here, please make sure to sign this. This is the Mayors for Peace. They are the society that is trying to create the total abolition of nuclear weapons by 2020. So they're doing a lot of good. You can help by just signing your name and showing your support to get rid of this, to make sure that no tragedies like in Nagasaki and Hiroshima can ever happen again. Another place that you should visit while you're here is this. This is the Memorial Hall. You don't even have to pay to go in. You just go in here, it's green, and you head down a winding area. And before you go into the actual Memorial Hall, you have to go into a separate room, and you sit there and contemplate the bomb and everything that happened for a few minutes. This is really important, I think, because you should quiet your mind before going in there. When you go in, it's very, very sad. It's this beautiful hall. It's a very peaceful, serene monument. And at the end there are 127 books, huge books that are filled with all of the names of the people who perished. And so you can see that in there. It's very sad, it's very moving, but it is really important to see it. This is the epicenter of where the bomb hit, right here in the center of the city of Nagasaki. The bomb was dropped, it was dropped from 30,000 feet and it exploded 500 meters above this spot right here. Almost 74,000 people were killed, the same number again were injured. Over 120,000 people lost their homes in the city. Within a 4-kilometer radius, everything was basically completely destroyed. Nagasaki wasn't the original target. It was going to be another city in the region called Kokoro. When the bombers got there, however, the cloud coverage was too thick, and so they moved on to this, which was the next choice of targets. And when they saw a crack in the cloud opening, they could see factories beneath. That's when they dropped it. This is right here. And next to the epicenter, there's this very sad, beautiful statue. This was put here 50 years after to commemorate everyone's loss. The bomb was dropped 3 days after the bomb on Hiroshima was dropped, and this statue symbolizes all the mothers that lost their babies. So as you go around the corner, this is how you get to the Peace Park. You just take the escalator straight up. It's super easy, it's free, and it takes you all the way there. And here we are in the Peace Park. When you come up the escalators, you come across this beautiful fountain first, and in the distance you can see it's perfectly framed with the peace statue at the end here. This is the World Peace Statue, and this was erected in 1955 to commemorate the 10-year anniversary of when the bomb was dropped. It was designed by a Japanese architect, and it symbolizes a lot of things. So the right hand that's pointing up towards the sky symbolizes the dangers of nuclear wars. The left hand outstretched symbolizes world peace and tranquility. The right leg that's tucked under is to symbolize meditation and to be thinking about what we're doing. And the left leg, poised ready for action, is there symbolizing the readiness that humanity has to have to act, to create world peace and make sure that it's lasting. And the eyes are closed to represent thinking about all the souls that have died from war all over the world and wishing for a repose for their souls. And the actual figure itself, he's sturdy, he's supposed to represent stability and comfort and love. As you walk around the Peace Park, read all the inscriptions on everything, from the Fountain of Peace at the end, the way that the fountain comes up is supposed to symbolize the wings of doves flying up to the heavens to help give rest to the souls who perished here. And then as you walk along, we've got all the statues here. They've been gifted. All this side has been gifted by different Soviet republics, people who were involved in some way in the bomb. And these statues are here to promote peace and friendship between the nations. There's also a large statue that has children on the top. This symbolises the children that perished, showing them as little angels.